All right, today we're going to dive into a classic story of conflict, but it's not some epic battle. No, it's something way more relatable. The clash between a huge financial opportunity and, well, a simple personal craving. Let's see how this all plays out. So, at the heart of our story is this thing right here, the truffle. And this line really sets the stage. We're not talking about just any old mushroom. This is one of the most prized and, yeah, most expensive gourmet foods in the entire world. That one little fact is what kicks this whole thing off. So how do we go from a fancy fungus to a full-blown kerfuffle? Well, it all starts right here in our first section with the discovery of a very, very unlikely and very valuable new skill. And the talent itself is pretty wild. Bart Simpson, of all people, figures out he can find these super valuable truffles just by using his nose. It's like a superpower, you know? And as you're about to see, whenever there's a rare skill involved, a business opportunity is usually not too far behind. And there you have it. The offer is laid out plain and simple. It's a crystal clear deal. You find the valuable stuff, and you are going to get paid big time. This sets up what's supposed to be the main motivation for everything that happens next. That brings us to our second act, the truffle treasure hunt. With a clear mission and the promise of a serious payday, the hunt is officially on. And wow, it doesn't just work, it works like a charm. When asked how many truffles he found, Bart's answer is more than I can count. So this isn't some slow burn success story. Nope, it is a massive hit right from the get-go. The talent is real and the profit potential is through the roof. This line right here, it says it all. It is all about the moolah. This treasure hunt isn't for the love of gourmet food or the thrill of discovery. It's a straight-up financial venture. The whole point is to cash in. Of course, every good story needs a twist, and here's ours. Just when things are going great, the truffle trail takes a super weird turn. It doesn't lead to another patch of forest or some hidden grove. Nope. It leads right back to their own house. The source of the truffles is suddenly way too close to home. And this discovery just begs the question, right? Why are the truffles in his room? The whole plan was to sell them, not, store them? This throws a huge wrench in the works. So what in the world has been going on with this get-rich-quick scheme? This brings us right to the climax of our story in Section 3, a delicious confession. This is the moment where the mystery of the missing money is finally solved. And there it is, the bombshell. The entire financial enterprise, the whole reason for the truffle hunt, has been totally derailed by, well, a secret appetite. All that potential cash hasn't been invested or stashed away. It's been eaten. I mean, that's the real question here, isn't it? Why would anyone trade a potential fortune for a snack? It seems like a completely crazy choice, but the reason behind it turns out to be surprisingly simple and incredibly human. And here's the answer. It had nothing to do with greed or trying to sabotage the plan. The motive was way more basic than that. Hunger and just plain old dissatisfaction. The appeal of that prized gourmet food was way stronger than the promise of top dollar, because it solved an immediate, everyday problem: boring food. And this comparison just lays out the core conflict perfectly. On one side, you have the promise of money, top dollar, moolah. And on the other, you have this deeply personal need for satisfaction, a solution to the problem that vegetarian food is so boring. And in this showdown, immediate gratification totally beat out long-term financial gain. So that brings us to our final section, profit versus personal hunger. How does this whole conflict actually resolve itself in the end? You know, after revealing the big secret, Bart doesn't just shrug it off. He actually gets it. He understands the consequences of what he did and seems genuinely sorry, realizing that his personal craving wrecked their shared goal. This final exchange is so telling. An apology is offered, and in return he's given the very last truffle, the final piece of what could have been profit. It's almost like an act of forgiveness, a sort of understanding that, you know what, that personal need was just too powerful to ignore. So, let's just quickly recap the journey we just saw. A one-of-a-kind talent leads to a big money offer, but then a powerful personal desire completely hijacks the whole operation. It's a perfect bite-sized example of what happens when long-term gain goes head-to-head with immediate satisfaction. And really, that's the question this whole story leaves us chewing on. Yeah, it's a funny example, but it points to a dilemma we all face, right? We all have to choose between the logical, profitable path and something we just want right now. This story seems to suggest that sometimes that simple, immediate craving can be the most powerful force of all. Makes you think, doesn't it?